Welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the old world. I'm one of your hosts, Gommo. I'm back as usual, joined by Josh and Andrew, live as usual for our podcast. It's sort of the normal thing we're doing these days. How are you going? Happy Easter, everyone. How are you?
Oh, yes. Happy Easter.
Yeah.
Just noticing the thumbnail there.
What's going on with the thumbnail?
Should we bring that back up? Have you not seen the thumbnail, Josh? Actually, I can't bring it up now because it's a video. What the hell? Siri just started.
Oh, no, not Siri.
Sorry, almost played Counting Crows or something. Oh, no, it is. What the hell? It's all falling apart. I don't know what happened. Something triggered Siri.
So professional.
This is what happens when it's live. Yes, thumbnails. You didn't see yourself on the thumbnail, Josh.
I just seen myself on the thumbnail.
Angeli Stark picked up on it.
Trying to work out if it was a dick and balls or some sort of Warhammer deity.
It's definitely a Slaneshi type symbol. He's looking down. We have to address the elephant in the room, don't we? I mean, what the hell happened last week? That just fell apart. It was quite funny.
It just absolutely fell apart. It was so funny. Oh, man.
Oh, man. That just... Andrew you just fell apart to it, and then it's
just Josh's innocence. I'm like, no, it can't be. There's got to be something going on. Like Josh has got like this alter ego, Slaneshi, and Josh has got no idea.
I felt like you couldn't even just say it was around Slanesh and Josh has been doing it. It was the whole episode, the whole build up with what's his name, his sister, and it just became this big thing, and it just what the hell just happened?
Yeah. Oh my god,
there's little things that they all added up. But
passing ships in the night,
to a crescendo.
That's what made it just. And 11 o'clock at night, we're tired, and then we just turn into juveniles.
After about 5 beers on my end too. Doesn't help.
Look, I've got some stuff to say about all that, but
I'm shooting that hobby and whatever else is the new segment we call Josh's Slanesh vet section.
Can't wait for this little segment because Josh has got us on strict silent secrecy. So
yes. There's also Patreon questions. We're not allowed to look at them. Apparently, we were part of them.
I saw them. I was like, this is gonna be a lot of fun. So
I figured it was something good, and I'm so tempted. Should I? He doesn't have to know, but I actually didn't.
That's good. I think I skimmed them about a day ago, and if they were there, I didn't read. I know there was a big chunk of something, and I didn't look at it because I was like, I'll do that later. So I probably was it, but I didn't see it. So hopefully, I don't know.
I didn't look very closely.
I don't even know. I don't even know what we're in for. Anyway, you guys can handle the comments as it's coming in. But we decided. Well, so the goal of this episode was to take a step back from the competitive stuff and just go a little bit back. Hobby, a little bit of maybe even we've got a lot of visitors coming, new subscribers, and just wanted there's people reaching out that haven't really played a lot, and then we went, well, maybe we'll talk about that. I mean, I've just sort of finished a bit of an army and going on to another one, and so let's just chat hobby a little bit. But then we came up with this Slay the Grey 5 rules to finish your army. I don't know if it's going to be 5, but I don't even know if they're rules. But at the end of the day, I think we've both in different ways got through a lot of armies. You hear a lot of things that you have to be crazy to play Warhammer because it's ridiculous what you have to actually do to not only buy paint, and get it on the table. We somehow managed to get multiple armies on the table. And so I thought it'd be cool just to chat through some of that. And plus, we're live now, so I want to hear people's comments and while we're live, as well as leave your comments later about how do you actually finish it, or things like that as we go through it. So that's going to be our main topic. Before that, though, I just will tell you guys we do our Patreon shout-outs after our main topic at the second part. We've got another Patreon this week, so thank you. I think we're pushing 50. What did I say last week? I can't remember. 53, I think, now. Paid subscribers, about 100 or so of not subscribers, patrons. of just patrons in general. So big thank you. These guys help us. Just turn up every week. And obviously now we're live, it's even more fun. So they get a shout out after our main topic. Yep. But if you want to check that out in the meantime, patreon.com/oldworldfanatics. Probably watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, bell button, all that stuff, and leave your comments as usual.
And literally, like, all that money goes into, like, you know, the software and having, like, to pay for different all these different things. Poor Gommo's like probably about $5,000 actually in the red with all the stuff he's actually had to buy.
Wow, I haven't counted all that. Remember the streaming stuff we set up initially? Bugger that. Yeah.
So yeah, the money goes to just help with that. It's not, we don't get any sort of money out of, you know,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. I mean, the software's, well, actually the way the dollar goes at the moment, although up and down, it's like double, you know, like when you look at the US price, $30 a month is not a lot, and then suddenly it's $60 when it's the bank balance. But yeah, no, it's really good. Really appreciate it. Definitely motivates you to keep trying at it. So what was Perfect say? Assumed. Oh, sorry, you do it, Josh. Wow, yes, the Swiss bank account. Yeah, that's right.
That's a secret. Perfect, it's a secret. You shouldn't be telling everyone that.
So Perfy's not on a bus today. I guess it's. I was hoping there'll be a few people here today because I mean it's Easter. Is it still? I guess everyone does Easter, don't they? Easter Monday over in the UK, so they're probably not at work.
Yeah,
surely.
Yeah, surely it'd be full on Easter still for most of the world.
Silver Dave said, "Do I have to pay a tariff for my Patreon membership?" Who knows? No, it's all services. I don't think so.
That's it.
Only if we ship you free some of Josh's modeling stuff. No, I don't.
Why is it now my whole modeling stuff is tainted?
He's starting a cult 3D, cult 3D like sculpting thing, you know, like channel. His weird stuff he paints. Okay,
cult pleasure 3D.
Cool. Let's get into this topic, and then we can get to the fun stuff later as well with all our patron shout outs and our hobby. I know there's a bunch of hobby and a bunch of patron questions. I should have sort of said that. That's why you get on the patrons, because you send us questions. Sounds like we've got a lot of them. So let's get into the main topic.
There's quite a few. There's quite a few. And then we're going to talk about Castle Assault's pack and stuff.
There's news. Yes, we will talk. You just led me on. That was good. I forgot that my tangent there. This was going to be a non-competitive tournament type topic, like episode, and then Castle Assault dropped in terms of the pack. So I did want to touch that, even though that is a tournament, but we'll do that again.
The best tournament ever.
Totally.
And you know, there's a few different events going on there concurrently as well. So
yes,
fun
we will bring that up. Maybe we've got some coals. Was it coal in the fire? Fire in the coals? Coals in the fire? How do you say that? We've got some things in the
irons
fire.
In the fire.
Irons in the fire. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
None of us are blacksmiths.
So we'll definitely talk about that as well. We better get on to that because that sounds like there's a lot to talk about there in this episode.
Yeah.
Plus, we get interrupted with funny comments, so that makes the whole thing go longer. Cool. Let's get on to it. So, like I said at the beginning, my idea of this topic was just, I don't know, I felt like I got through mine and I was trying to think, how did I do, like, and then I've started this other one and I was like, what am I doing that people might think it's interesting, or what do other people do? Like, am I doing something dumb? You know, that type of thing. So I wanted to talk through, slaying that grey. So, I mean, the first thing is, do you guys, have you got any overarching thoughts about, you know, like getting an army from thought to the actual battlefield? Like, how long does it take you guys usually? And I mean, Josh, you probably do a bit less than us, but better.
Oh, there's so many distracting comments.
Oh God, that's okay.
There's some monoliths in the fire. Oh my God. I'll hit that.
You're never going to live that one down. So we definitely episode 100. We need to bookmark these somehow, because episode 100. Maybe the patrons can help here. If they can keep track somehow of the funny things, or let us know when we get to episode 100, we can pump out a little bit of a montage thing or something. That'll be quite funny. I really wish we had that one right at the beginning, Josh, when you hinted how much the was it the Grail Knights or the Questing Knights? Was that the one I just wasn't recording?
Expensive Questing Knights.
Yeah. Was that when I wasn't recording?
I
and we
think there
had
was
to
a
do it
problem with
again?
our audio or something, and there was like a 10-minute period that just didn't record, and that was a part of it.
Oh, that was
funny.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, can we go back to our one?
Yeah, well, Cam's been on this. He just
so-
went his batch paint. Yeah, Cam's been
Batch
doing
paint.
that, been getting grace with his hobby picks over the weekend. Yeah, sorry, Josh, go for it, mate.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, it depends on, to some extent, where you're coming from in the hobby. You know, have you done an army before? Is this your first time in it? And then also, it's because I was trying to think of this, because it's like, who are we aiming this at?
Yeah.
Are we aiming at people that have already done Warhammer, just like playing the game and just want to have a new army to play? But there's people that are coming in. There are people that enjoy the hobby for different reasons as well. So there's people that just like to paint and don't really play, and like that's what they like doing, kind of thing, you know. And there's people that, you know, and I remember that survey we had from Squarehammer that talked about, you know, why you like the hobby, and you know, there was people that just love the lore, that just like building lists and as much as playing the game. And then people just do it for the social aspect as well. So there are lots of different reasons why you do it. Unfortunately, to play the game, there is a prerequisite that whether or not you like the actually painting or not, you got to do it.
Yeah, you got to do it. And even if the tournament doesn't allow, doesn't force you to do it, it's almost like you got to do it for the person sitting across from you as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine if you're new and all that. I've got no issue with that. But like, if you're sitting 12 months in, and especially if you're trying to play medalists and you got a bunch of grey plastics or grey blue resin, it's
at least got to earn using the meta, you know.
Yeah, that's right. But with your points, Josh, there, I guess this topic will probably focus more on if you are literally trying to get an army on the table, but that could still be a painter. Like if you're, there's people who just paint single models, but I'm talking about people who are trying to paint an army, even if it is for, you know, display purposes, you know, that type of thing. Andrew, what's your overarching sort of thoughts on the topic initially, I guess?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say inspiration, which obviously we'll get into as part of it, but I found something funny thinking about it before is my overarching inspiration has actually changed a lot from at the start, very lore focused and I like something. And now it's kind of changed to, I wouldn't say follow the meta and be competitive, but especially in Ninth Age, because Ninth Age doesn't really have any lore, I did find that I was building lists for tournaments and for the competitive side rather than the lore. So it was weird. Over.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. So can you remember back in 8th, what were you doing then?
Yeah, I love my dwarves. I got like the dwarf book, always had dwarves, and you know, reading the lore, and you're like, oh, these guys are cool, and like, you know, I made my first dwarf army to more the lore and the books over, and then obviously, you know, started getting in tournaments, and then that quickly changed. And you know.
But I say it's sort of like Ninth Age kicked you over the. I won't say that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I mean, we do have I was going to say we do have the advantage of Warhammer that we actually do have the lore, but then I'm sort of probably one of my criticisms of old world is they need to get their fingers off, you know, get off their ass and actually give us more lore. I think like there's a little bit of this stuff in the books, but you know. I'm comparing it to a lot of other stuff.
Is that a Patreon question? Can we have ad hoc Patreon questions?
A live Patreon question.
Patreon.
I can ask answers. Yeah. So Josh, Perfety's asked me. Perfety, you have a lot of questions already in the Patreon section. You're really
being greedy.
How does your dollar go? He's asked me, Josh, you know anatomy. What's the third upper arm muscle all my gores have? They have biceps, triceps, and sideps. Is it a fake muscle? I'm pretty sure it'd be a deltoid up there. That's what you're talking about.
Deltoid.
Anyway, there you go.
What's the killing blow sort of movement that would build up the deltoid? You know, is it a double-handed axe? Like, is it cleaving someone's head off from the side? Like, how would a gore build up its deltoid?
Oh.
You don't have to answer that. That's fine.
He's disputing my answer, by the way.
So,
that
was
Josh. Okay.
That's straight up.
You know, they probably just added it in there. Or it might be one of the heads of the triceps or something like that as well.
So it's not putty a lat, like it doesn't come off as putty a lat.
The latissimus is up on the back muscle. So he's asking me somewhere on the side of the forearm, which,
that's a side set. Anyway.
You say the third upper arm muscle. Sorry. I thought he was talking
about
up
that way.
Yeah,
who knows? Anyway, better keep moving. Okay, so I'll just keep trying to stand up if that's okay. And you guys answer those questions. Okay, so let's just assume we're going to kick off into a new army. I mean, Andrew, you just talked about it went from law to potentially competitive scene. I mean, I was thinking of things related to, so this is probably, I guess it's related to new people and existing. If you're going to pick a new army and just get started with that, what are some of the tips we can give on that in terms of, because I'm not just going to go out and say, well, you should get the best army because that's going to keep you motivated. I think law's a big thing and aesthetics of that. But I was pragmatically, I can't help but think, well, there's box sets out on warhammer.com. Which ones would you actually recommend for someone right now? And, what's that approach to sort of getting an army out there, in terms of buying something that you don't have to spend millions of dollars for? Do you know what I mean? Just as a simple question, like which battalion boxes or starters or whatever do you think are even close to being cheap enough to get that in another box and actually have the start of an army?
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about that?
Not really.
That's why I love
the Age of Sigmar Chaos Warriors
ones
ones were good. Those ones were easily accessible and actually quite good value.
What do you think of the actual starter boxes? I mean, I know they're double the value because they're more, but you're getting the rule book as well.
Well, yeah.
As in Bretts and Tomb Kings. Do you reckon they're actually quite decent boxes for what you get?
Not too bad, but that's
I think they're pretty good when you think about it.
We're not talking about meta.
Well, it's
you can make an army out of, basically.
Yeah, I'm not saying meta, but at the same time, you don't want someone to buy something and then it's all trash and they can't use it either.
Can't use it,
And I think the Bretts is not too bad. You're getting Realm Knights, you're getting Peg Knights, you're getting that Duke or Baron or whatever on a raw peg. I mean, that's it's a pretty good
pretty much the army these days, right?
Double that, you've got an army. Yeah.
I mean, the only real stinker in terms of building a reasonably competitive the Old World army would be the Orcs and Goblins one, isn't it? Because they've just got
probably
regular gobbos that no one ever takes.
Regular Orcs, no one ever takes. And then Orc Chariots, probably. Man, technically. Very little take that. Maybe Black Orc Chariots. You could just, it's a piss poor, really, unfortunately. Yeah.
Aside from that one, I think most of them have been okay. But I mean, ultimately, though, I don't think you should be basing your army choice on what has, the best value starter box either. Like, I think you should really be picking an army based on primarily, the look of it, the lore, what's the play style. If you've got enough experience in Warhammer to know what you like, I think that's the core of it, and that's right. This is going to keep you motivated to keep going.
I think the other thing too is, I mean, on that point is, if you're trying to meta chase, I mean, I think if you're meta chasing, you probably know enough about it, so it doesn't really matter. But if you're not, it's going to stuff changes, and I know Old World doesn't move as quick as the others, but I still think, like you said, it's just not worth it. If you're picking something up just because you saw everyone's winning with all these pegs, but you don't really like it, especially at this point, like they could be dropping a rules update in July and suddenly you've just put all this money into an army that you didn't actually really like, and then bang, it's screwed. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not a game that's really, you don't want to play it like that like highly competitive and leap into the next meta and that type of thing. It's really a game that you just it's best played in the context of you just playing it for the fun immersion of it, with a sprinkling of competitiveness.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's the best way of keeping yourself motivated to paint an army up.
Yeah.
The other thing is just knowing that there's other options out there too. You don't have to look on warhammer.com. Like, if you
a lot of options.
If you don't want to be putting and gluing a million things together, 3D printing is actually really good. And that doesn't mean you have to 3D print, but there's heaps of services out there, which at the end of the day, they're probably not any cheaper, maybe a little cheaper if you're buying someone else to do it than getting off Games Workshop. But also then you're not even putting anything together, pretty much.
It's an incredible amount of time saved, isn't it? Than having to deal with the screws.
Massive amount of times, especially like, I mean, just someone just pointed out before about the Tomb King one. Like, it's ridiculous how fucking annoying it is to glue all those skeletons together. It's just horrendous. So, and you need a lot of them if you're going to play, you know, I shouldn't say meta, but I mean, even if you're not, you just want to make it look like a good skeleton army. You need a lot of skeletons.
Yeah, you just need them for any. You should need them for any skeleton-based army.
Yeah,
and I've like used
no meta.
Yeah. I've used like commission 3D printers like people before, and it's not super expensive. So even if you don't really know somebody, you can always like reach out to somewhere in your club or somebody as you know, somebody that's like, you know, can print it for you for $100 or, you know, I'm talking like
yeah.
It's not like, you know, compared to obviously, you know, you see stuff on like online, people selling on eBay 3D printed stuff. It's quite expensive.
Yeah, Etsy, and even them, they're quite pricey. Yeah.
But it's obviously it's not. There's cheaper options out there if you don't have a 3D printer.
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely worth it. I mean, I know it doesn't support Games Workshop in that way, but at the end of the day, you will. I guarantee you will. Just because if you're in it long enough, you'll be spending money. It'll go to them at some point. The only other point about starting right and sort of choosing the army and stuff, I did think, and this is probably more sort of related to newbie, but even if you are looking at that second army and you're not like, you know, you want to get something on the table quicker, or you know that you lose interest, is sometimes just picking the army. Like, again, I'll go like high elves. I know Cam's smashing through his high elves and he's doing it quite quick. But white paint jobs, I don't know. I feel like there's certain armies that need to be crisp and clean and stuff like that. And then others like dwarves, potentially, you know, a silver spray, a rattle can across them, with paint their beards and a primary color, and suddenly they can look okay. Do you know what I mean? I reckon, like, and when you're starting to think about planning this out, that's one of the things I think you should think about. Like, especially if you don't know, you know, it's a bit intimidating. There's some armies that just naturally are quicker to paint, even if you decide not to paint everything. So and I'm assuming Beastman's like that. I haven't done it yet, but I'm assuming.
You're about to find out. Yeah, I mean, definitely more forgiving. Yeah, those sort of organic colors and lots of flowing shapes. Especially if you haven't painted that much, you're not that experienced in doing it. Sometimes it can be a wise decision rather than going for an army that's, you know, going to be fairly unforgiving to paint and then sort of losing steam on it just because you're not feeling like you're getting good result, and then you sort of just, you know, get deflated and then sort of drop it. Which
well, it's like playing a musical instrument stuff. If you're listening to all this, everyone listens to music most of the time, and then you go, I want to play something like that. And reality is, eventually you'll be able to play something like that, like not live and like they do, but you know, you'll be able to, like, most music's 4 chords and it's not that bloody hard. And you can get there, but you're not going to sound like that for a while. You know what I mean? So, but the advantage of our hobby is you can get stuff pretty quick to a standard that looks okay, because you're not looking at it this close. You're looking at it, you're standing up across a table most of the time. And so, you know, sometimes looking at magazines and pictures and magazines, that's funny. Pictures on the internet and stuff is actually not as good as actually just going into a tournament and seeing it in real life. There you go. So Beastmen are the easiest to paint. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think he said he was putting together some gauze at the start of MC Wall. I think.
He was. Oh,
It
Michael.
seems there's a lot of now I'm worried that I'm gonna be
He's
just
either
one
an
of
old
many.
fart or a noob.
Yeah, an old world behemoth. It's so you guys need to tell me, is this Alex or who's this? Like, because I know there's a couple of them in this podcast. This is the newer Western Sydney podcast. Oh well,
it's the old world
I don't know
behemoths,
who
dude.
runs. Well, I mean,
they're on.
Yeah, perhaps the biggest part of the hobby when starting out is it doesn't need to look like the box art. Yeah, like this is the thing. So this is the tip, I guess, is start out right, choose something that's potentially going to get quicker, and don't expect you're gonna. And I don't know, either don't expect it's going to look like that, or if you are experienced, be prepared to say, "Oh, I'm okay to Alex tonight." Okay, that's Alex this time. I'm prepared to go a bit lower to get this out quicker. Do you know what I mean? Like that's perfectly fine as well. Cool.
Well, that's another thing I was thinking about was what standard of painting do you go for? You know, to get the army through. Like, do you actually, just try to get it on the table? You paint it up to like a basic standard so you can play with them, and then maybe go back and finish it off as you keep using them.
Yeah,
I must admit, whoever goes back.
But I still think that's a valid point. Because I do that all the time pretty much. And I'll admit I have gone back on a few units if I had to. But yeah, generally not. I mean, that's the thing. It depends. Yeah. Especially if that unit didn't perform. You're like, fuck it.
I filled mine on the table a lot sooner before Josh because my man hour per mini is probably 0.1, or else Josh's man hour per mini is probably, 4 or 5 hours. So I think when Josh is putting his stuff on the board, like he doesn't come back to do those fixes, or else for me, that's commonplace.
My
putting on the table level's quite low, obviously.
Just before we move on to the sorry, you go, Josh.
I don't know that I spend that much. I don't know. I feel like you're mythologizing how much time I spend on these minis.
I don't know.
These monoliths, he spends a lot of time.
Yeah. That's it. He's got a new hobby.
You'll see.
He's too busy with his monoliths. He's not painting his figures anymore. Sorry, we just did get one question about 3D printers, and we won't go off on a tangent because it's a whole other topic. But I'm talking about 3D printers. What good brand to start? And Alex just gave them an answer of Anycubic and Elegoo. I mean, both Josh and I picked up that you were. I don't know if they are the newest now. Elegoo ones last year.
They're not. Yeah, the Saturn
another one now?
Yeah, there is. There's a 7.5. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I did see that. But I got the bottom one, and Josh has got the more expensive one. And all I'd say is mine was my first, and it's like plug and play, pretty much. I mean, I had a little bit of an issue with it the other day, but nothing too bad. Josh, yours has been plug and play, but it was your second one, I guess.
Yeah. Even the first one was plug and play, though. Really,
and that was a Mars, wasn't it?
They work best when you first get them, and then after you use them for a while, suddenly then you start to get some issues with it almost, and then you have to do some troubleshooting. And then you start learning, okay, this is the problem, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they're easier than you think.
I'm learning this with. I mean, everyone says it, and you still don't hear it until you do it. It's like the oil washing. It's easier than you think. And I think 3D printing is the only thing. 3D printing is expensive to get into initially. I mean, when I say expensive, like you're going to be forking out for the machine and the cleaning stuff, and like there's a chunk up front, and then
it's not $200. Yeah, you're talking
and you're probably going to print a lot of shit that you don't need as well. So when you add all that up, probably, it's an expensive initial outlay, but then I would imagine, and Josh has had one longer than me. It's why it's earning its money back. Years later.
And not just earning, but not in a way. A lot of it's not definable as earning its money back. It's just opening doors and stuff that
options.
You wouldn't actually be able to do without one at all.
Yes,
true.
And for me, that blew my mind. Self-satisfaction. You're earning self-satisfaction, is it? Like just by more of these and like your hobby and just it's that extra thing you can do.
Well, it is, yeah. It's like the basing materials or the different bases or just different models or joining them together or, it's just, you weren't going to spend that money on something else because that something else didn't really exist. So,
Sorry, I'm just laughing at one of the comments.
Yeah, you'll have to keep putting them up there if
These comments are so ridiculous.
That's too R-rated.
I'll push on to the second tip because I've got the second tip, and it obviously these flow together a little bit.
Josh, stop it.
But my thing is, this is what I do. The armies that I've managed to get out, when I say quickly, I don't know. Well, actually, I'll ask one more question, and the chat can answer this. How quickly do you do an army, and how many would you do? Like how many, Josh? You've got like 3 technically now, do you? But did you have other armies? Have you you've done 2 Bretts before, haven't you? Like you had your older one, then you redid it.
Oh yeah, I sort of just expanded it, I guess. I find it very hard to quantify how long an army takes me to do.
Yeah.
Because it just depends on so many different factors. Sometimes you come back to them years later to add to it as well, and you have different elements to it.
And I feel like the other 2, which we'll get into, you did through slow growth, so they sort of had a set time, but then you expand on them later.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's absolutely true too. Yeah. No, I can't do it. A year and a
Maybe
half.
Andrew can probably answer that better. If you had a new army that you had to get done, like Chaos Dwarves, like you start that now to go, I'm going to do it. How many of those type of armies would you say in a year? Would it only be 1, or would it be 2, or?
Now, so I can answer that 2 ways. So I was thinking about this question as when I first started, and when I first started, I didn't have kids. So
right,
I reckon I could get one out in a month, which I did at the start.
1 army in a month.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Every night, and that was just like to 2,000 points, or very close to 1 army in a month, and then now I'd say towards like with all my piss farting around towards it, 6 months would probably be a real time frame if I put my mind into it.
It's almost like, I guess what I probably asked the question. Perfectly said one unit in a month is fast. He just said, Jesus. Yeah, this is why Andrew had like a shed full of, he just keeps pulling, just mention a figure and he's going, oh, yeah, I've got that. Hang on.
Used to be bigger. Used to be a lot bigger.
Yeah. The, I guess the other question is, if someone is starting out and they're having an experience, what should be a realistic time frame where they, they don't start feeling discouraged? Do you know what I mean? Like I would say it's going to be, most people will not get an army painted. I'll just say that. Like, if you start this, you're not probably going to, most people won't finish it.
Oh, I wonder what's actually on.
The ones that do, it's probably going to be 1 or 2 years. I think my gut feel would it take people, especially their first one, is going to. So I just think it's quite slow, and a lot of people might get stressed out thinking they're not doing it quick enough. And I reckon most people, because like Josh, you were right at the beginning. Like not everyone's in there just getting it and playing a tournament. Like a lot of people just buy it and they've got it at home. It's going to take forever, and I think that's fine. And so, sorry, my second tip then is the idea of obviously you need to work out a list, and we didn't get into that, but I mean, get something that's in that, 1,000, 2,000 point range. And I think it's actually building it and getting it based up off the sprues. It's sort of like my guitars things, even though I don't play them as much. Yeah. But if they're in a box on the plastics, in grey plastic in a box, they're not getting painted. And I feel like if you actually want to get something done, because this is the trick here with 5 rules to finish your army, it's not to like do a golden demon. It's like, what do you need? Get them on sprue, get them built on their bases. I would even say magnetized on movement trays if that's what you're using.
Yeah.
And primed. And that's at least that's like you can see what you need to get done then. Yeah. I guess that's my second main tip. I don't know how you guys go about it, but I certainly do.
I would do the opposite.
Yeah.
I hate having them all built and primed waiting. Yeah. It almost feels overwhelming. I'd much rather go 1 unit at a time, start again, just do the construction, prime, get it ready. Maybe 2 or 3, but I would never do the entire army at once.
Yeah.
Primed, have them all sitting there white, and I'd be like, oh my god, I've got so much to paint.
Look at them.
Like,
That's right. That's fine. Not everyone needs to do it that way. Yeah.
No, absolutely. No,
Yeah,
it's just funny how different things. But at the same time, I can see
flicking
the
around
value
upside
of that. Because even if you get them all primed, at least you've got them ready, and you could actually just play them a bit as well, and that'll keep you going.
Where I'm getting so with my Tomb, and I know it depends on the army, right? So my Tomb Kings, I did this. Like my Orcs weren't really done that way, neither my Empire. It was more like buy them as you go. But when I did my Tomb Kings for 6, then, and they're Tomb Kings, let's be honest, I sprayed them all bone, did all their bases, sand, sepia wash, highlighted, washed most of the skeletons, and you could play the game. And I know they're Tomb Kings that it's not going to be applicable, but it is applicable to potentially dwarves, beastmen, and even chaos.
Yeah,
you could do that, and it doesn't look too bad, especially these days. Everyone's talking about zenithal highlighting, which I won't go into too much here, but if you zenithal highlight the thing, it's at least got some definition. And if you do your bases simple, not complex bases, suddenly the army's playable, and it's not painted, but it is painted. And I don't know. I just feel like you do that. It's also this idea that you've started and you got more chance of getting through to completion. Whereas if you just buy stuff, I feel like, and do one box at a time, whatever, it's pretty easy to go, fuck, that last one was shit. And just not get to the next one.
So you force yourself. In a sense.
I reckon how I'd do it if I was doing it like that, where you build them all and paint them and like prime them up. I'd do it all, and then I put all of it away except for one unit, and just like focus it
cool with that.
so that I'm not feeling like I've got all this
stressed
stuff
out of it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you leave it right in front of you all the time. Yeah, none.
Like have them all spread across your desk.
Like no, I'm not saying that. No, I'm just saying like it's done. It's in a box somewhere. It's all ready to go.
Yeah, no, that's cool. You sold me.
And again, this is evolving. I've done this for my last 2 now, and I'm feeling like, actually, that does feel like I can get it done. Also, not saying do the whole every model you have of that army, like just pick an army list and do that. You know?
And what I was going to say, I was showing everyone my messy desk was my build station, and that's just like I've started building something, got a bit bored and started building something else, and anyway I got this big pile of shit there now. But what I was trying to say was basically probably what you were saying, Gommo, like you just get like one unit done and then slowly just build up your army, and then like by the end of it it's all, like you said, built and based. Like that's an achievement in itself. Right. So if you only do like one unit or something, like you were saying before, like it's not, you only built one and made one, or else like if you do the whole army, you almost, like you're saying, and you do it in a batch where you're forcing yourself into each next component. I thought that was really, really good advice. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't know if Cam's still on, but it feels like that's what he's doing with his IOs. Like he's batched, like he's done all these units up. I think he was sharing, like, I'm pretty sure I saw Lion. I was going to call him Lion Guard. It's not Lion Guard. It's White Lions. What's the other souped up wine? What's the souped up White Lions? White Lion Guard. What's the one in there?
Yeah, I think it is Lion Guard.
Yeah, okay, that's where I was getting confused. Yeah,
the new ones. Yeah. And then there's the Woodsmen, which are the ones
the converted one with axes. Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. So I don't know. Like batching's a bit scary at the best of times with painting, but at the same time, I feel like there's some validity. And going back to my point right at the beginning of picking the right army, some armies probably, I don't know, it's probably not as applicable potentially. But I feel like some can go a long way with an undercoat or a zenithal and a decently, a simple basing scheme, and it doesn't look too bad. Like I'd play against it knowing that you're still painting it, I'd rather play against that than plastic, like great plastic. Yeah.
And one thing I'd say, like, I know we glanced over it before, the army selection is sometimes you can get armies where, like you're saying before about the Lion Guard, where you can have like one model, but you can kind of proxy it as, especially things like, the old wood elves and whatnot, and some of the high elves. Sometimes I do that. Like I'll just take a normal archer and say, oh, these guys are my, the scouts or whatnot. Same with like dwarves and the dwarves.
That dwarf battalion box, I think that's perfect for that because it's got warriors. You could run the
Longbeards,
Thunderers as bloody Iron Drakes if you wanted. You got 2 gyros. Like, I think that's a decent. I mean, dwarves aren't everyone's kettle of fish, but they're one of the most popular armies. So if you are starting out, and they're pretty easy to paint, and they're little. Like, it's a pretty good box. Yeah,
they are little.
I don't know what game-changing rules are coming for infantry, but they're still pretty good. I don't know. Actually, I'm just trying to think. How many podium, though? A few, like Richie over in the UK does.
Well, Richie just runs Longbeards and a block of Iron Drakes and takes tournaments out. So, yeah, you don't even need that many for, that model. And you can run, like you said, run the Warriors as Longbeards and the Thunderers and Iron Drakes. Like, I'm sure no one's really going to care.
Oh, not when you're starting out. Yeah. Like,
that's it.
It's totally fine.
What size batch do you guys like to paint in?
Ooh.
Depends on what I'm batch painting.
Yeah.
You saying for an army? Because probably what Gommo was saying, I do something similar to that, but maybe not the whole army, but I usually doing like half a size. But I'll try and do maybe 10 to 20 is my
20 models at a time.
For the more complex painting stage. So obviously, not dry brushing, priming, I try and do that in big lots. But it comes actually.
If you're doing like infantry sort of cav, probably in that. Yeah, like infantry for me is like 5 to 20. Yeah, cav might be in the 5 to 10. Although I just did almost 30 orc ball boys the other day, so I was doing them in bigger ones. I probably would like to do them in bigger ones. I just I don't know. I do probably cap out at about 20 usually.
How did you find that transition from going from 10 war boys that you usually do going to 30? Like, was that?
So ironically, it was almost through basing and finishing off that shitted me off because I you know what I mean? I'm actually quite anal with my base and movement trays and stuff, and I'd ordered I was trying to work out the list, so I wasn't sure the configuration of the orcs first. And then I ordered like a bunch of different movement trays and they still aren't here. And so I haven't had them on the proper movement trays. I've had like 4 sitting on one over here and it was all fucking over the shop. And and then what ended up happening, so I ended up like doing like 6 ball boys on something and they go, oh, where's the other 4? That's why I lost when I played you the other day. 6 were sitting somewhere else. And then I found I was like, just today I was finishing stuff off and I was like, oh fuck, those 6 didn't get like something done on the base. I totally so I packed everything up, realizing that I hadn't even finished it. I was like, oh, it's frustrating as. But if I'd had my like proper movement trays out and they were all in the right ones, I don't think I would have screwed it up. But just because I had like 5 different versions of them all around the place. You do find with batching, you eventually get quicker and quicker. And sometimes I feel like it's better to batch like 5 or something first and go through the whole thing and you work it out. And then you can do like 20 because like you've worked out, like, I don't know, it just feels,
But you want to batch at least some. I mean, it's interesting some of the answers we got because Cam said 70.
What is your biggest one?
Then Perfectly said 1.
I love it. There's always one right. And this is there's 5 rules here. There's only one answer. That's right. It's 70 and 1.
I feel you got to do more than one time. Because you got to wait for the layer to dry at least. So at least going to a different model at least gives you a little bit of efficiency. Going, And
what is your biggest that you've done? Do you know? Like, have you? Yeah. Probably, is it like your spearman dude, like peasants? How many did you do them and go?
Oh, well, I only painted a unit of 16. I'm doing 28 Chaos Marauders that's still. But I was doing last week. I'm still going with them. So that's probably one of the
nice and slow. Painting up those leathers, nice. All the nipples.
I think I did either 50. I can't remember. It wouldn't have been 50 halberdiers in one go. It would have been close.
Oh, God.
I think I did 50 black orcs. Sorry, savage orcs in 8.
Maybe I should paint them on.
So, is that the nipples?
That's what he's doing. That's it.
Oh, okay. This is I like this. This is I didn't think of this, but I have sort of done this in the past, but not deliberately. But I think this is not a bad tip here. Prime the whole unit, rank up rank them up. Front rank gets painted, and then next rank I just finish the arms, shoulders, heads, and weapons. Final rank I paint in full. He sounds like he leaves. Okay, maybe I misread this. Are you saying that you leave the middles not fully painted? Is that
What says next rank? He does the arms, shoulders, heads, and weapons, and then the final rank he just it does the whole thing. They'll do like all the ranks, like arms. This is what I'm guessing.
Okay. Might have to clarify.
But then surely we go back and do the rest.
But
sure. Yeah.
Okay. He just said it.
Okay.
The ranks aren't painted full. Okay, that
interesting.
It's fine. It's fine. I like this thing. It's like the airbrushing in Xenothol. Sometimes don't paint underneath the horse. You don't need to, which I'm still learning to not do that.
Yeah,
right. This is another idea. This is a tip that's totally worth it and totally valid for some things. They're wound markers at the end of the day. And again, comes on. It's depending on what your goal is. If it's to get from grey plastic to a game to play, and you want it to look decent, it's a decent tip, I reckon.
That's a decent shortcut.
Yeah. I guess you have to know where they go, because otherwise it might be a bit weird. I do like the front rank paint thing, and then go backwards though. I think that's good. Most times,
especially once the rear rank dies, and then you just got dudes. Unless you take him out from the, I don't know. It's getting complicated.
No one even sees them anyway. Why even paint the back of them? As well.
That's true.
No one's actually recommended that yet, but it's always always good. Cool. Although you do, sorry, I shouldn't say that. You do move them around. It's a game of moving things around, so you probably do need them.
Speaking of painting things that you don't need to, I was showing someone I was showing Nick my tabletop world buildings, and I was like opening them, and he's like, "Have you painted the inside?" I'm like, "Yeah, Nick, I painted the interior."
I thought you were about to.
Have you painted those cottages?
Slaneshi bloody
monoliths.
That's what I thought you were going to say. Check these out.
No.
Okay.
What did you? Sorry, what did you? I got.
Did you paint the cottages from that? Yeah,
no.
Josh. No. Okay, it's cool. I just picked mine up. I was moving something the other today, and I went, "Oh, what's the? Oh, that's right. That's that box with the cottages."
I did get them out, and I put them together. Man, they slide together really nice.
Yeah, okay.
Beautiful. But I'm not currently working on homesteady terrain right now.
You're working on monoliths. We know all about that. Yeah. Cottages are just too PG for Josh at the moment.
His mind is wandering elsewhere.
It's so annoying.
Exploring new horizons.
Okay. We probably blended the third thing was just painting to play. So I think we just, the first one was build it, get it on there, and then paint it to so you can play with it. And I think we just covered a bunch of them. Did I miss any others? I guess the only other one I missed there was probably like simplifying the paint schemes down. Like this is the thing. Again, if your goal is to just get it from prime to something that looks decent, and Josh, you sort of said it right at the beginning, like you can do the cheap thing and then you can go back if you want later. So again, if you're talking washes and all that sort of stuff, you can get away with, especially contrast paints now. You don't really even need to highlight if you don't want to. If you pick like 5 or 6 of them and just pick them all the same colors, when you see belts and a sword thing and this, just do it all leather brown or whatever. Like you could do that, and suddenly you can smash out with 7 or 8 colors. You can get the whole thing done if you really wanted to. So I think that's, I don't know.
Tabletop standard, man. It's incredible what that 4 or 5 feet does to the look of the unit. It's not anything to do goes to it. It looks really nice.
Yeah. Plenty of time somebody's like going, "Oh, that's nice looking dwarf army." Then they like pick up a miniature and they're like, ugh. There's plenty of times my army looks better than it actually does.
One thing I'm going to say is you really got to work out whatever scheme you want at the start as well, because that can be a real problem sometimes if you get well into painting an army and then decide you don't like this yellow and black Bretonian color scheme. Gilthos.
Yep.
Sure.
So, and sometimes you got to do some test models or look up a lot of like references via Google and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Once you set it, then you stick with it. But it's nothing worse than having to go back and repaint stuff because you don't like the coloring.
How do you do that? Like, are you picking? Because it's funny. Like, what do you pick? Like, if you're new, what should they start with first? Like, I was thinking infantry, but like, is that? I mean, it depends on your army, isn't it? Like Brett's, you probably do. You want to try a horse, like a knight, probably.
Yeah,
probably more applicable.
Brett's are a hard one to answer because it depends on the color scheme, and that can go anywhere. That can go anywhere depending if you do unified or individual. Yes, entropy. I have been painting the same army for 20 years. Oh dear.
Oh, that's really good.
This is cool. Yeah. Do you want to pop them up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Small tip. If you're completely new to color theory, ChatGPT can help you match a scheme in the paints used by each range.
Nice.
Nice.
So everything's AI now. So good. Yeah. I mean, I do that with my software development. Yeah, like everything's just like, look at these color palettes, let it do it. And then sometimes I go, don't like that color palette, change it all. And the same thing, I guess. I haven't done it with paints yet, but that's a really good point. Especially it would know all about the Citadel range and everything. So probably, that's I'm going to play around with that. Because thanks for that, actually, Alex, because I'm thinking with the airbrush stuff, color theory comes in way more, I feel, because you're actually, you're wanting some of those under layers to show through. So, knowing that, okay, if I do it with the purple undercoat and I go up to a red or whatever, I'm getting that transition. Whereas when you're doing base and layer and the heavy metal style, it's less important. Do you know what I mean? It's more about contrast colors, whereas complementary and what builds up nice and stuff. I think that's a really good. I'm going to check that out because I think I need to learn a little bit more about that. Is there what on that point, airbrushes or heavy metal style? And I don't expect new people to know what all that is. What the hell what tips would you give us for a new person about painting in terms of should they just read Games Workshop's guides for the heavy metal style of, base, wash, layer, or like, do you guys do anything? Oh, I guess now it's zenithal. Would you do the slap chop with contrast, for example? Is that what would you guys do?
As in, what would you recommend? As in, what would we tell someone else to do?
Yeah, like someone came to you that was, somehow you actually got someone to come into the hobby, which I don't think I've ever done. How would you even tell them to paint? What's the tips you'd give them?
Oh, it's a good question. I think I would be pushing him down the at least using the contrasts and that type of thing. I'd probably say heavy dry brushing, contrast, and then maybe wash, and then if you want to learn how to do highlighting after that, do that.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'd tell them.
I'd probably do sort of that zenithal type. I'd probably put a darker. I'd probably go with a grey or a brown, and then go with a dry brush cream to white, and then that way everything can be contrasted, but there's a fair bit of dark in there as well.
Yeah,
which gets away from that issue that contrasts have if you're on straight white, where it's like get a bit messy if you're not very good at painting, which you're not when you start out.
Yeah. So Sean just mentioned slap chop guide on YouTube, and like we can get into YouTube, but I do find I was going to say, like, from my thing, I would say to somebody new is like, what you were saying before about like heavy metal, they've got obviously their videos that they bring out and they're actually quite realistic and simple. So I find just, being realistic is probably something good, and use a simple color scheme. And then you could recommend those sort of videos that obviously the team does mainly with contrast, because they're like, to get this effect, you can do this, and they do something quite simple. Whereas if you do it on YouTube, you end up with like one of the pro painters, doing this golden demon standard. So
I find Stu over at Miniature Realms, and also God, now I can't remember his name. Who's the guy from? I think he's from Ireland. Oh God, It's like a baldy dude, younger guys, you know. Jesus,
Finally, someone else getting
Send him to you,
some
Michael.
shit.
I'll send him to you.
Slacker, there you go. But yeah, Stu from Miniature Realms, his ones are quiet. He's really good at like coming up with he was the one who shared that chaos one where he did it really quick with airbrushes, which is sort of what I'm going to go off when I do the Beastman. So it was really quick. The only thing, again, going to your point, Andrew, is these guys have so many paint ranges that if you're trying to copy what they do, you can fall into the trap of thinking you need the paints that they use, even though technically you don't. But you know, if you're new, you don't know anything. So like they're pulling out a contrast paint, but then they go to a, you know, I don't know, an AK paint or a whatever, and you're like, ugh. Sometimes they probably should stick with just one, even though they wouldn't use.
Simple range.
Well, that's the hard thing as well. Is when you're starting off, it's like, what paints are you supposed to buy? Like, and if you're suddenly buying different layer paints, and then you've also got to buy like 20 different contrasts for all these different colors, like it ends up being quite a significant outlay as well. But at the same time, mixing layer paints and stuff also can be hard, because then you're frustrated because it's like you can't get reproducible results and that type of thing too. I don't know. Unfortunately, it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I think again, going back to the whole premise of like, how do you get it from onto the thing quickly? I think unless you like, if you're not new and you're onto your second, third army like I am, and you are going to start playing around with airbrushing, you're probably not going to start with airbrushing as a noob. So you might as well probably go that slap chop. I think that's probably where I would push for. I just wouldn't do the Games Workshop contrast method in the sense of just undercoat it with Wraithbone and then start. I feel like that the definition you get out of the slap chop. I wouldn't go the black one. I'd almost go a grey or brown up to a something slap choppy type thing, you know, and not slap chop the whole thing. Sometimes, you know, like if you got armor, don't fucking slap chop. But again, these are the tips that people don't see usually. Like they usually see the whole figure done that way. And again, I'll just reiterate, this is probably said it already, but I call them dirty armies, like the ones that are like the Chaos and even Tomb Kings. Like if you could just wash it and quickly, like almost
you can get away with
brush it up, you can get and then do the sword silver. And then maybe a red, and then just pick a red and do banners or whatever. And suddenly, and as long as the base is done, you'd be surprised how good the army looks. Like you probably can't even tell. I mean, you can, but you know, like I mean, Andrews, your first batches are like that sometimes with the orcs sprayed silver, or the dwarves that you did the other day with the chaos dwarves. Like you smashed them out pretty quick, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, but they look horrendous. The black orcs weren't too bad. But I already had some that was sprayed silver, and then obviously I bought another box, and then ended up sending off the ones that were sprayed silver because I just thought it was going to be a little bit too hard. But like I did them in a reasonable time frame, and I thought they came up pretty good. The black orcs.
No, totally. And Matt said the same thing. Something people don't do enough is prime in a color that a portion of the model will end up in. Yeah, this is the thing, and I think that's Games Workshop's fault a bit, where they just haven't. Like we were in the era of everything was Chaos Black under. Well, I was. Sorry, I wasn't in the early days, but when I got back into it, 7th, 8th edition was all undercoat Chaos Black. Start from there, and then now it's undercoat Grey Cyril, Wraithbone, and go up. Like but now realistically, it should be spray it different. You know, undercoat it or prime it one that's closer to what it should be.
Yeah, I got done by that with my Slayers, with the Slayer orange hair going from black to that orange. There's a lot of layers in there.
Worse. My God.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
There's not a lot of definition.
Have you ever undercoated black, Josh? Because you and me are like polar opposites, eh? So funny.
I've never done it. I have attempted to paint a black miniature that someone else had primed and I ended up with, and I just hated it so much. I just never had decided to follow it up at all. So I've not actually done it.
So funny. Like when I'm over a pure white, I want to kill myself. But it's so funny. But tip. Okay, so you've picked something good. You've built it. You've built the whole thing up. Then you've smashed it out with 4 or 5 colors. Slap chopped. It's all base. That's actually pretty good now. But while you're doing that, or how do you? You've just looked at this big army that Collins or Gommo's told you to friggin' base up first, and you've just started and you're demotivated as shit. How do you get motivated? I think this is your one, Andrew. Join a, get to a tournament or get to a slow grow.
Yeah. But look, I had a good point before. I was thinking about like how to stay motivated is like don't make dumb choices in the first place, which goes right back to the very start about what army to get.
Yeah.
Because good story from, well, anybody that knows me, I collect lots of armies. And the ones that I don't keep are the ones that I don't actually really have any interest in, like from a story lore point of view. Like they just don't interest me. Because they don't interest me, I just don't want to paint them. So ogres, classic example. I got zero interest in ogres, yet I bought an ogre army, quite a large one. And I've built it up and sold it off. I think I like painted a couple of models. And yeah, I use some that
was that for 9th age or was that okay? Yeah.
I just had no, and I got rid of it, and I don't want to see another ogre. Like, unless they're an ogre leader in my Chaos Dwarf army. It's the only ogre I want to see. So,
or hypothetically, how do you paint an army of heavily armored Asian troops? Yeah, and they've got ogres too. So
there we go.
Yeah, I tell you, they're scaring me a bit. These Cafe, I'm going to get them, but they're scaring me. With
in what way?
I don't know if they're going to be one of these quick armies to paint. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong.
Oh, from a paint perspective,
I don't think they will be. No, they look fairly detailed minis. So I think there's been a lot of time picking out detail, unfortunately.
So it's going to screw up our whole.
So compared to
don't listen to this video because it's not going to apply to Cathay.
Yeah, it's going to be a fair bit more work involved.
Although you never know, once you get them out, there could be ways to smash.
The color schemes will be okay. Like I don't think it's not like they're all white. I think that's fine. There's a lot of metallics on them and that type of thing too.
Yeah.
Colored metallics too, which is interesting. But there's just stuff you just spend ages just like, this detail, that detail, that leather strap.
Slap chopping the Cafe balloon might be a disaster.
The balloon deserves some proper painting.
Empire state trooper compared to one of the what were they, the Jade Guard?
Jade
the amount
Warriors
of detail between those two would be.
You can smash through state troops. They're almost as quick as dwarves.
Yeah, that's such a good example. Those minis are full of detail.
That's a good point though. Like I would almost say Empire are one of the, if you want a clean army but quick, like not one of the undead or whatever like that. The Empire is actually probably not too bad to smash through because the knights and stuff again spray silver. And then the state troops you're picking 2 colors with skin and bone. Brown.
Some respect.
I love my state troops. They're cool. Yeah. They're just shit at the moment. I have a lot of state troops. I've played a lot of state troops. I still have them all set up because they're probably one of the best painted armies I have.
And the thing with the straight troops is it does give you the opportunity to learn a bit of how to control different color gradients and that type of thing too, especially depending on the colors you pick for your livery. You actually can learn a lot about how do I highlight blue or red or yellow kind of thing.
Or even white. There's a few that have the white, which is actually No, I think it's so. But I think at least me and Andrew, I know for sure, and Josh, I'm assuming it's pretty much the same. You've probably done more slow grows than us, but tournaments obviously motivate me and Andrew to get shit done.
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely.
So, I think
massively motivating, or any kind of specific deadline.
If your just goal is to get something in a cupboard, or you just like paying, it probably doesn't really apply. But there's just nothing like. And especially after you get your first 2,000 points, and if you want to go to the next bit and just change the list a bit, and suddenly you only need to do a little bit more. Joining 2 or 3 tournaments in a year, phase. You expand their army so quick, and especially if you're open to just taking stuff that's fun as well. I'm not trying to, play the meta. I just I want that unit of trolls, so now I'm going to paint the unit of trolls. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Best way to do it.
Yeah. Just like me and the Sea Guard I'm taking.
How do you find tournaments though? No, just kidding. Oldworldrankings.com. Plug. Anyway, sorry.
I like how we used to have like a segment like what are the upcoming tournaments, and now we just don't even don't even need it. It's just on the website.
Yeah.
Right.
Oldworldrankings.com. It's all there. It's all collated.
Right. Yeah.
I'm about to open up global rankings. I'm just playing around with some things and toggling around. So it's coming. It's coming, people.
Coming.
Anyway. Yeah. The slow grows are interesting, and I know like I've run one, I finished a demon army. I think that's where I'm at. Well, that's where Andrew, I think. And then obviously Josh, you did your high elves, wood elves, and then you've just done your demons. With your one that you ran.
It's the best way, man. It's the best way of building an army. It just keeps you motivated. Gives you little stepwise sort of deadlines that are small, not overly stressful. Hopefully the slow grow itself is designed in a way that doesn't make it too stressful and it's achievable.
Yeah.
But it just gives you little checkpoints. You just go, and then 9-12 months later, next minute, you've got a full army painted up.
I think that could actually, if you don't want to like base up a whole army and like I said and spray it and all that crap, if you're in a slow grow, you don't need to, like, because you only need to do that with the 700 points you're doing, or the 2, and then the extra 200 or whatever it is. I think that's heaps good. I would just say, because not everyone has a club or whatever to do it. Pretty much every Warhammer related Discord group I know, plus a bunch of the Facebook groups, always run the little painting slow growy things as well. A lot of them do, whether or not it's
like
the main Warhammer Discord does a paint thing every month where you paint like a unit, and then you might paint like a war machine, and then the next month you might paint a cav unit. So any of them just helps you. Just when you say you're going to do something and you either have to get it done or you've told somebody you will get it done, you just tend to get it done, which is cool.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, not to harp on the local one, but there's a specific value with that where you're not only painting them and getting them done, but you're playing games with them as well, and that's huge. Massive. And not only that, you're also playing games against local people that are regulars, probably at a club or whatever. And then you're sharing stories, you're going through it all together, and then at the end of it, you've actually got a whole bunch of people that you've now played against regularly, who could actually
have armies
regularly play again. Who have got armies.
No, totally. It is really the best way to do it, and probably needs to be more of them.
I think there's more. I think there's more. There's always a demand for it. Just needs
to do a Cathay Slow Grow League.
Oh, yeah. When was the last time there was a slow grow at Legions?
They did do one, I think, for Old World. Right at the beginning, I just was already halfway through doing rebasing Orcs and Tomb King, so I didn't join it. But Legions did do one, I think.
Do you want to do one for your Beastman? Let's see if there's appetite out there for your Beastman.
Yeah, there might be able to. But the problem is I don't even go to Legions much. That's the problem.
Sunday's a killer, eh?
Sundays are just it's just I'd rather, like I said, do if how ASB has his like Friday, I think they play Friday night like at his club and stuff. If there was more of a week, there's Thursday besides, not really.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if those guys would, because they were talking about doing like a painting night.
Oh yeah,
or something as well. So maybe you need to talk to those guys and see what type of club they're trying to put together. Can
I tell you something? So the whole reason that I scheduled the slow grow and then now the campaign at 10 to 10:30 on a Sunday once a month is because I missed having the monthly Legions on Sunday.
Was it?
Monthly mandate. That's great.
I missed my mandate.
Yeah.
I do. I still miss it. So I'm trying to create my own.
It's a Jimmy Buffett song, almost. Slow boat to Cathay. Yeah. No, well, it's a good point though. I'm going to start. Yeah, maybe I have to think about that. I don't know so much for Beastmen, because I think I'm hoping they're not going to be crazily hard. But Cathay or something like that, just because I feel like there's going to be an influx of new people too. Do you know what I mean?
All playing Cathay?
Well,
so
you could
say
funnily you could do a funny one where you
an all Cathay slogan.
Yeah. But let other people if they want. But it'd be funny to do a slogan that's actually just be interesting.
That would be. That's good.
Primarily Cathay.
So that's our tip 4. We're getting on with this. So let's just smash through tip 5, which is just keeping that motivation up and fueling that hype. Is obviously consuming and watching and getting community. I mean, we just talked about slow grow. So again, these all join together a little bit because they work too. And it goes back to your point, Andrew. If you don't like your faction's lore or whatever, then it's not going to help.
Yeah. Choose something you like.
Yeah. And how are you going to feel that hype? Podcast? Live streams?
No. It's what you're drawn to, but like what drew you to? Most people just don't come to Warhammer and they don't have some sort of like,
I have to read Matt's out. Sorry.
Read it out. I stay motivated by showing my models to people that love my work no matter what, like my mom.
Sorry,
partner definitely won't.
Very good, darling.
Won't entertain it.
But just easy gratitude. No, but I forgot what I was even talking about. Sorry. What inspires you? Like, most people go to Warhammer. It's like when you look at 40K, a lot of people even like Star Trek and different parts of that, or like might like Star Wars and different parts of that. And then I think when people go to 40K, their likes from previous, things that they liked as a kid, sort of like manifests into an army. So like for me, I like Britannia. I used to like watching like Robin Hood and stuff like that, and that sort of the knights and whatnot, and dwarves and whatnot from Tolkien. Like that's my motivation, and that's why I'm interested in that faction. Not just the Warhammer lore, but a lot of the time there's like a deep-seated sort of, to me, attraction to something. Like Josh, like he's got that deep-seated attraction to.
Well, he's exposing this team. He didn't realize it was there. That's right.
There's something there. You don't pick Cultist Slanesh for nothing.
I would say this would be interesting to see what happens with my Beastmen, because I'm not and have never thought. I think I have bought 10 Beastmen or 20 Beastmen before, back in 4th or 5th ed when they were those plastic monoposes. But that was when they were all part of Chaos. But I've actually never really. They've never. The number, like the 99% reason why I'm putting an army together is to try a new painting technique, which is, I guess, a different motivator. So it is actually, but it's not based around the lore. It's based around picking an army that is suited for trying to smash out something fairly quick in a whole new technique, and see if then that builds a set of skills that I can put onto something else.
What about your previous ones? Like you got Tomb Kings that you've sort of did pretty quick.
Tomb Kings, I loved Egypt ever since I was a little kid, so that was a no-brainer when they came out. And then orcs, I picked orcs, my mate picked dwarves, and Tolkien, like it just sticks. So Empire, I think I always liked Empire too growing up, but I don't know, you couldn't, so much it was metal when it was too expensive, and back then you couldn't have multiple armies when you were a teenager. Like this was not going to happen. So
couldn't even have one.
We could, if you had one model of each unit.
Still proxied a bunch of shit. So no, but you're right. It is. It's definitely what's drawn as a kid or whatever. You end up just liking it. Yeah. Entropy saying a Cathay slow grow would be awesome. Could you imagine every person entered the same tournament with the same list? So is he being sarcastic or is it?
No, I don't think he is actually. I think he's enjoying the ridiculous idea of that.
Well, it's almost like I will do it one day. It was a tournament that's just all Empire. You just got to bring an Empire army.
What is going to be the?
I don't remember you talking about this in the past.
Didn't I? I swear I brought it up on the tournament
an all Empire tournament.
Maybe it was on Old Wood of Oz. I don't know. Especially the War of the Three Emperors and
cheater.
stuff, and do just a full Empire army. And then that way, they even if they're low down the pecking order, there's always an Empire's going to podium and an Empire's going to finish last because they're all Empire. Basically, chess. Yeah,
that's it. It is good.
Flagellants won't have much to do because there's no dragons around. But anyway,
or great cannons.
yeah. Anyway, that was our chatting through a bit of sort of hobby motivation-y stuff. How to get it. I don't know. So like that. I mean, I just sort of said why I brought this topic up as a little bit of selfishness because my basement. Because I'm thinking, yeah, this is what I'm doing now. What am I doing to try and get through this quick? You know, it's and I didn't even know what quick means. It could be 2 months, could be 1 month, could be 3 months. I think Cathay's given me a deadline now that I don't want to be trying to be painting this if Cathay comes out. So if we're thinking August, September.
How long you got?
Well, I don't know. That's the thing because I don't know.
Yeah, man. So you're thinking August, September. So you're giving yourself what? 3 months?
3 months. I reckon usually 3. So Tomb Kings, I think I can do an army in 3 to 6 months, depending on how pushed I am.
And you reckon with this
to my level, like not
design to paint, like this is like I can paint an army. You reckon 3 months is your aim? Your aim point?
Yeah, it might even be 2, to be honest. There's a chance I could even get it. Actually, when's the winter one? Winter. Ooh. That's 8 weeks away, 7 weeks away.
I don't know if it's June or July.
9 weeks away? No, it's June. It's June 20.
It is June.
Oh, shit, is it?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was the end of June. It was.
Because it's when I get back from the Maldives. It's right on that Saturday. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's 21st of June, actually. I think it is.
So Gommo's taking Beastman to Winter March. No?
Actually, it's 21st of April, so that's 2 months. No, I don't know if I will. I've got another idea for that because... Not to get straight back into the competitive side, they're allowing the they're allowing it's the renegade lists are allowed.
Yeah.
So
could pull out I built these 2 bad boys. For nothing.
Could pull out the demons and give them a go.
Well, it's funny. You're like possibly building an army in 3 months, and I'm like painting an army, and I'm like, well, if I just get 2 of these guys done, I'll be happy. That's like my sort of aim.
Yeah, it's funny. I like when I'm talking about painting Beastmen, that doesn't preclude me to then getting the demons ready either. Like, because that's just rebasing stuff. Like, I'm not really counting that shit. Like, it's like this is like a full. This is like a new army. This is like new. It's not even adding on to my orcs. This is like sit down, build out something from brand new that wasn't there. So
these demons are just there. They're going to come out with this.
Alex is saying, Dave. So, Alice, are you saying bring the demons, or are you bringing demons, or is everyone bringing? Is it just all demons?
There's going to be lots of demons getting around. That ward save, it's a big deal, I think.
Oh, massive! Totally. I remember. Yeah. So, I think there'll be a few Zench and Corn coming. He is okay. He is. Yeah.
Yes.
But now I can actually add Nurgle and stuff because I've got a 3D printer. So. Might have a look. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking for that. It depends how quickly the Beastmen go and what the book looks like as well. Like if the AJ is good and the Minotaurs are good, maybe the Beastmen, I reckon, because you wouldn't have to paint as many Gauls because you'd paint Minotaurs.
Yeah. So, I think it's funny, like if you're looking at something like, I'm going to take something that's a bit of a meta, not saying, sorry, it's a meta army, but like you're taking an army thinking it might be good to Winter March. But what happens, because it's kind of like a living document, the
Renegade one.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, what happens? Imagine if you just painted all this stuff up and then like there was a massive edit to it or something and just changed.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
it's a bit of a gamble.
I guess there would have to be a date on it, but I don't think Val's going to do anything crazy like that, but they will update stuff. That's for sure.
Well, he had a big update already. Yeah,
I just wouldn't take demons to anything like. Unless, like, I'm not going to take them normally. I wouldn't play them under the normal things, I don't think. So it's, and I haven't seen a lot of Renegade. I mean, I don't know what listeners here commenting. Is there other ones? Is there other tournaments in Australia allowing renegade list? I don't even know. Haven't seen many.
It's quite early. I think it's quite divisive. Like
Well, it's that, and just because some of them are our Masters ends in June. A lot of the bigger ones, like unless it's a smaller one, doesn't matter. But I mean, I guess the Western City gamers are not small anymore. Most of them aren't doing it just because it's right near the end and don't want to throw.
It will change up too much. Yeah. It's very true. It is, especially a living document like that sort of thing, which it currently is.
Just blackmail, man. He just ran his tournament. I think they just had the Square Base tournament over in Canada this week. Actually, I think he came out 7th with his vamps. But yeah,
not too bad.
I didn't see Sean there. How come Sean wasn't playing over in there?
Oh.
Anyway, that's all good. That's our tips.
Yep.
Should we move on? Should we move into the second half then?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank
Sounds
our
good.
patrons. I'll do that quickly. Then we get on to patron questions, which I think Josh will lead, obviously. So our first big patron this week, damn, this is going to be weird. Firebird7137. How did we not have, out of 53 patrons, how come no one else has numbers in their name? That's actually kind of crazy.
That's a cool name too. Firebird.
Yeah, Adam. I think it's Adam because I was talking to him about something else. Firebird7137. So there you go.
Nice.
Big thank you for joining up. And then we got Nocturne Drashen Sang. I cannot say that. Mark Langley, who wasn't here today, he actually I've been texting about he's a Beastman player. So remember Mark L. He's dropping some rumors on us last week, which is really good. So yeah, he couldn't make it today, but he will be back next week. Boss Grand, Matt Hinton, the Old Warrior blog, Warhammer the Old World, Silver Dave, Sporadic Sanity, Mark, Nick, Grand Vanderbosch, Chris Bowler, Drunkhammer Nate, Ben, Shooter Louis, Eugene Chaffel, Benoit, Ed Fawcett, Cam the Dentist, James McKellen, Liam Fallon, Tommy Kublin, Jay McBride. I haven't seen Jay on here today. Oh well. Flatworld's Edge, Sexy Jelly, Herald of the Old World, Keel Herd, David Dodge, Lancaster, Tommy Dogs, Matthew Klein, Thumper, Matt Morris, Perfidy, he's there, Griff, Jeff Tools, Wood Duck, Josh Griffiths, Nin Anawam, Daniel Broadstock, Jonathan Wengler, Elliot Mitchum, Gilthos, Draconos, Diesel, Danny Gamer, Robert Z, the OG Whirler, Tainted, Bobby Gherkin, Gunwich. Now we have 3 on the second page: Sean Ritchie, Todd Lloyd, and Chapstick. Do you reckon we'll ever meet Chapstick? Does anyone know who Chapstick is?
No idea. Is the anomaly?
Well, it's just most other people have commented, and I sort of know them on and off. Do you know what I mean?
There's a name to the face or a name to the name.
Or like a personality type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, on the Discord. And I don't even know if Chapstick's ever been on the Discord. No idea.
Didn't he join up before we had the Discord?
Yeah, probably. So, yeah, it's really
Is he
early
in the Discord?
Maybe. Who knows?
Guys?
He's probably bad. Would be the first time that the access stuff's all confusing. Anyway, we got some Patreon questions, as we usually do. I think Josh is going to run us through.
We do have some Patreon questions. All right, guys. All right. This is a very exciting
run out of alcohol
question section.
I need some. Yes.
All right, I'll pop these up. Right, so the first question is a relatively normal question. So this is from Gilthos. I can't remember if we answered this question or not previously, but he goes, I'm not sure if the previous one got lost, but over the last 2 or 3 years, if you had to choose only all new plastic armies being released, Cathay, Kislev, Vampire Coast, or the re-release of the legacy factions with only the raw models, which would you choose? So it's Cathay, Kislev, Vampire's Coast.
So it's all plastic. So, but if it's a legacy one, it's got to be like all the vampire plastics or all the Lizardman, the older stuff, not the AOS stuff. Okay.
Yep.
Ooh, that last bit is interesting. It's hard to answer that now because I've seen Cathay.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it change it? Like before you saw the Cathay, I would have felt like it's more likely to be a legacy one, but that's Cathay.
I think I'd probably get, I don't know. What would you do? I'll let Andrew go.
Well, I'm trying to work out exactly what it's asking here. So I'm like, so if you choose only an all new plastic army being released or the re-release of the legacy factions with only their old models, like, well, Like, because I've already got the legacy.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I've got-
I see what you mean. I've missed.
I'm trying to work this out because I'm like, well, you can still buy the old models on eBay. So I'm like,
Sorry, I thought he
Oh,
meant which
yeah, right.
one did he want us to release?
I thought he meant which one as well.
Yeah. Oh, now that's even harder too. So he's saying over the next 2 to 3 years, okay, you're getting Cathay, but you're only going to get Kislev of Vampire Coast, or re-releasing all the legacy ones with that old. See, again, now that I've seen Cathay, it's hard to answer that. Pre Cathay, I would have said I'd rather Legacy come out.
Yeah. For sure.
Just to finish the game.
so you just want Legacy for the books, so that they
no,
would be...
for bringing the people in as well. Like that's my thing too. Like people who've just been like shafted, and the books would help because then they would fix. The competitive nature. We wouldn't have these issues. We wouldn't have the renegade packs and all that crap.
Yeah.
So I think as a game, but however, you continually just pull the old people in. You're not pulling in new people. Whereas I think
it's a selfless choice from Gommo. A selfless choice. I was being selfish, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't want any of those other legs. I've got all the models I need. I don't need any more. I was being selfish. Because Gommo's it's for the community. I love it.
Yeah. I think I agree with Gommo. I want the legacy factions back.
Oh, sweet.
I want them back first, and then we can get to new stuff.
But it's just now that I've seen Cathay, I can see what they could do. Kislev, Vampire Coast, whatever. I feel like that would pull more people in just as much, or if not more.
Probably
providing
would.
they eventually go back to the legacy factions at some point. That's the only thing.
I don't know if they would though. If they start releasing all this other stuff and it does really well,
they might just bring them back slightly different. You might get Vampire Coast and not vampires. You know, maybe they're still that sort of thing. And I think that would be okay as long as it's not. I don't know. Cool.
Yep. Right,
I think we have a lot, so I'm going to have to push on. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so
I think I shall.
I had to can the Tuesday last week.
It
It was scheduled, so that was on me. Then I was going to do it later in the week, and then it's Easter, and ASB is traveling. He's off with the fam. So we have tentatively scheduled it for next week because it's after Easter, like the holidays. But again, we've tentatively scheduled this for two months now. Okay, and it's not it's mostly me who then you do a lot of work and then podcast and I'll do that one later. Sorry, dude.
I to be honest, I'm not sure he wants you to do it. Like, because what will he ask? Well, actually,
there'll be the
next. He'll ask you.
Yeah,
he's got so many questions.
That's right. There'll be
next one. Zenfox. Sean asks. Josh gets his first non-old world game of the old world win. Well, the first non-tournament game the old world win.
That's it.
Okay, now you have actually you have done one of them. You have done a non-tournament. Yeah.
My very first game of the old world.
And your beautiful table.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was at my very own ham with that table.
Now, I would have thought Sean would have known that.
Sean
has made quizzes for us.
Ethereal Seagull block.
Yes.
So annoying.
Back when the Seagull were good.
Back with the Seagull. Oh dear. But yeah, that's the only one I have played. All my other games have been at tournaments, which is pretty typical for me historically. But then next one. Sexy photo shoot of the podcast host calendar web.
It's getting printed currently.
Right. We're just printing device. We're just printing props now. Andrew, Josh started last week.
Josh is sending down the Monoliths, the big box. Very big box.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. Next one. Perfectly asked. What are Josh's tips for starting a cult to the Prince of Pleasure? This is a good question. I don't have any particular tips. Maybe you just got to start slowly. You just think, you start playing that marry, fuck, kill game, and you your name Marathi is the one you want to find. And then it just goes downhill from there.
Goes downhill.
Good. Yeah.
Next one.
How many sub factions have you got, Josh?
Jelly.
That is beautiful.
I can't wait to see the hills for Josh's campaign. Need to do a whole episode of Josh's scenery.
Nipples everywhere.
He's got multiple mounds with little tips at the top.
Okay, Jelly's got to. Where did he get that picture from? Like, did he already have this in the background, or did he then see it after he saw listened to last episode?
Mountain Nip.
Mountain Nip.
Go on, Matty. Let's go.
I love it.
Oh, next one. The dentist. Josh builds the tower. Picture of it. I think it's from
sorry if you're
Powers.
listening to this, but you have to. Yeah, that is actually. Yeah, you have to watch these. Yes.
That looks a bit similar to the tattoo that you had on your forehead.
Very
in the
phallic.
thumbnail.
That is
Yeah. Phallic.
Yeah, if you're listening, it's a very phallic image of a penis, a dong on a radar thing, which was it was part of a GIF he had, but yeah, that was the screenshot I got of it. Right, next one. Then it is also us. What are Josh's best tips for painting vagina
portals? Oh god. Well, I guess we'll find out in hobby time. I'm hoping. We've been kept in the dark here, obviously.
Kept in the dark
with gag
up
balls
until
and stuff.
Here we go, guys. This is what I've been working on. It's coming. Vagina portals incoming. Here we go. Is it gonna work? Oh no! Where is it?
Uh-oh. He screwed it up.
I screwed it up.
It's black.
I screwed it up.
Take your face mask off.
What's going on?
I will have to bring it up separately.
Okay, that's okay.
There we go.
That was.
I'll just bring it up. That's annoying. That was such a.
Yeah, you even prepped all that. Yeah,
I prepped it all.
Ta-da!
Right. Share screen.
Crap.
I don't know when. All right. There we go.
Yes.
There we go. Can you see it? Is that coming up? Oh, it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Still
That is nice.
I'm still not going to get over what these are. Okay. Let's just. I'll concentrate on the other the ones out there. The background are freaking awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, look.
You haven't been gentle with one on the left.
All I'll just say, the Slaanesh one on the right, the perp one on the right,
Your purple
to me
one
is cool, and I don't actually see anything bad. And then I see the other one with the red. It looks like a very red, angry.
Yeah, it's been.
I knew you guys are going to say that. Oh, it's supposed to be corn. Okay, it's corn themed.
Fair enough.
It's corn themed, guys. It is not bruised and bleeding.
In all, I think if you just had these on the table, I'd be okay. I wouldn't go, what the hell is this? I think in the context of everything,
I would.
It's hard not to see it.
Why is that monolith menstruating? What's going on?
Yes.
That is obvious.
So how did you go? Were you every time you sat down on a painting session to work on this, were you just laughing in your head going, fucking hell, what am I doing? Or you're never going to see these a different.
No, I think it didn't take me long to get out to stop seeing them like that.
Right. Okay.
So when did it? Sorry, because I had the original ones, and it didn't have a base. As soon as I based them up, is it gonna work?
They look good. I mean, the basing is excellent. Yeah. I like the actual
base them up
obelisk ones too. That's cool. Is that literally that purple army painter watered down a bit on it? Is it, or what?
Yeah, hold on. So as soon as I put the bases on there like this, I was like, it's starting to fade a bit.
Yeah.
And then when I got to, hold on, I've got a pre-snow one as well. And then I
Perfect. He says reopen stream. Cease demonic vaginas. Classical world.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Shut up, Perfect. And then getting to this spot, I was like, this is my scenery now. This is not looking like vagina anymore. It's not like vagina anymore. Perfect. You haven't seen the snow ones. So okay. All right. Perfect. I'm gonna show you these. Guys, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. This is good terrain. I'm not banging out. This is good terrain. This looks like it'll fit on the tabletop.
I think
there's 21 people on the live stream who are seeing vaginas right now. That's what they're saying. I just see two vaginas. That's all they're saying. It's like, is the dress red or what is it? Blue or gold? It's like terrain or vaginas. I bet you they're vaginas. 20 people seeing vaginas right.
Oh god.
In answer to your question, Gommo, from before about the purple, I actually used like 3 different contrasts, sort of mixed with a bit of water, and then I dry brushed it, and then did a bit more contrast, and then dry brushed it again. And then
what were the contrast colors? Is that like
I can't...
Libya pink? Is that a vagina part? Labia?
No, I do not.
Never going to live this one down.
Rectum brown? What colours?
Bubonic brown.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
They look like vaginas. Some weird bumhole somehow. They just
I think they bought
hermaphrodite.
bubble out of vagina, but anyway.
Well, it's a hermaphrodite. It's got
yeah, true. It's combined. These powers combined.
I refuse.
It is.
That's funny.
The ultimate.
Oh, well, we got through it. Oh, I did see the picture of Baraka. I did. This is the comment I must have seen, but then I scrolled past it. It's a video, isn't it? Do I have to watch this?
Can Josh answer why horses have their hair, not fur, when they're animals? Also, what is the appropriate color hoof for lighter-haired horses? Are giraffe horses actually horses or just some giant relative? What is the difference between a hamster, a guinea pig, and a gerbil? When do we get our Empire Arcane Journal deep dive? Why is the sky blue? Who is the current head of the Order of the Garter? Have you ever seen blue cheese? Would blue cheese make you sick if you were allergic to penicillin? Is the Empire Arcane Journal a deep dive? How is the Empire Arcane Journal a deep dive? Do you agree that Land Cruisers are ridiculously overpriced and it's only a ute for successful farmers and second-year apprentices? Can you remember the tallest man you've ever seen? How much money would it take for you to spend the night in the cemetery?
Do we just pick one of those questions?
Perfect. It's the dress blue or gold, and no one's
do you see MC Wongs use a lot of Labian medium? I can't look at Josh's. Oh, God.
Oh my goodness.
Obviously, that was a joke. Yeah, I don't even know where to start with that one.
This is
I know.
an army base in.
I think I can read that one out.
Pakapanyal.
Yeah. Do you want to read it out? So Josh said, yeah, on the left hangs around the front gates of Pakapanyal on a Friday. So
that's Josh. That's not Josh me. That's Josh Josh Griffiths.
Is it where? Is that out? Is that out? Is it in
the other
series?
Josh?
Where is it? Where is that one?
Pakapanyal.
Yeah,
Victoria. It's one of the
Victoria.
big army base. They do a lot of training and stuff. Yeah,
that's not. Okay, no, that's not the. No, that's not the Aubrey one. That must be down somewhere else.
Wodonga. No.
That's something.
It's one of the famous ones, Pakapanyal. It's like a really old base. Sorry.
Are we answering any of these, or it's just too many?
I do want to answer the horse one. Like the thing with the hair versus fur is that fur is hair. It's just really thick, so it's more of a just a colloquial term. But horses have hair, and fur is just hair. Anyway, what else I want to answer? Blue trees. Well, I don't think it'll make you sick if you mention penicillin. Only if the particular fungus happened to be a penicillin fungus. But yeah. What about the Land Cruiser one, guys?
I don't know.
I could answer Land Cruiser for sure, but there's a lot of questions, so maybe we should. All
right. The next one.
That's cool.
Can you just answer the last one on that? How much money would it take to make you spend the night in a cemetery? Are you actually scared of a cemetery? Would you spend a night in a cemetery? Like, it wouldn't bother me. I don't think
creepy friggin' cemeteries around. Just depends on where you are.
Like, is that because more where the cemetery is, or that you're in a cemetery?
Yeah.
Right?
You know, like every now and again, you see those old school overgrown cemeteries, like just in the middle of nowhere, and it's just that's a big no for me.
Okay, cool.
I like how the only vampire count play here is like,
Yeah,
guys,
he's scared of the cemeteries.
you've got to be
And
scared
we're
of the
like,
cemetery.
Yeah, because I know what goes on.
yeah,
I've read that book.
maybe. And Josh wants to go there because his monoliths are probably there. It's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
where his Slanesh stuff's hanging out. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, next question.
Next question. Perfectly asked, could Josh do surgery on this? And then I've gone to the effort of getting the screenshots, and he's talking about this ridiculous thing.
That's the guy. Yeah, we
now
saw
this is
last
interesting.
week, didn't we?
We saw this last week, and I think he asked me if I could do surgery on this last week too. Because this is actually an Instagram post, and it's got the making of the whole thing. So it's based on this image, I guess, the visual illustration. And he's gone to a whole bunch of workshopping the shapes of people listening. This is the guy on the Taurus that won the Golden Demon. Now it's got an anatomical skeleton that he's trying to put together.
Oh,
it's
geez.
like, I know.
I thought the model was like a Forge World model. It's not, is it? Did he? What?
I think he's custom built this by the look of the way.
Wow, how do you get that in the Golden Demon? I'm confused.
No, that wasn't a fault.
Wow,
It's not like the Lamasu one. It's not the Ford one.
Yeah,
like his own one. Yeah.
Has he
it's kinda
named any of
cool.
these bones? Like, where's
What do
he
you
join?
mean?
Like, you know how these wings are coming out, but they should actually be. Like,
Well, that's the thing. So this is as much as I admire the effort here, I do have to nitpick where the bird humerus is coming into the
bet's coming
top
out.
end, the top end of the scapula there.
Now, okay,
the-
so I'll push back there a little bit. What happens? You know how sometimes you get an abnormality and you get like someone with, I don't know, dual arms or something. I don't know if that ever happens, but you do get the odd thing where you get a duplicate of something. Could that happen where their arm has now duplicated? So now that has eventually turned into a wing.
But he already has an arm.
Yeah, well, you don't lose the arm. That's fine. But eventually.
Oh, as in a second arm? Like,
yeah.
is that what you
Well,
mean?
technically a second pair of arms. You know what I mean? Like, in utero, it ended up growing 4 arms, and that person or that creature eventually ended up with 2 of those arms becoming wings. Is that how that would work?
thing?
No,
Does that work?
Well,
I
I'm
don't
not
think
saying
that's
it doesn't exist in our nature, but you
Yeah,
could
too
evolve.
biological.
What I'm saying is
Yeah,
it could
too
evolve
biological,
that
boss.
way. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Potentially.
This is not the end of the diagram, by the way.
Okay.
This has got a
Yeah.
muscular
Oh,
diagram.
God.
called
Wow.
An Eorc study. We actually got labeled
Like
the
layering up the
trapezius,
muscles.
brachiocephalic, that kind of thing, which is
Is
quite
there? It
cool.
is the deltoid. What's up next to his side test?
Yeah, isn't that what
tricep.
Isn't that what Perfect was asking me? Like what? Yeah,
Yeah, with his beastman. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next? That's crazy. I can't believe I did
Yeah.
not know this Instagram post was this detailed.
yeah, it's super
Really?
detailed. It's awesome.
Wow.
So then he's got that's with the skin on. Although I must admit he's beefed up the pectoral muscle of the wing quite a lot there from that to that. I would say. And then that's a printed off.
3D printed it.
That's
And
it.
then you can 3D print in a whole thing and put it in Golden Demon.
I didn't know that was doable, but apparently,
Wow.
that's what
I'm
he's
more
done.
amazed about that as well than
Must just be because his own design. Clearly, you can't use anybody like anything that somebody else.
No.
I'm guessing so. Everything's got to be
I thought something
Games
had
Workshop
to be.
or something you've created. I'm guessing.
What about the dude on top? Is he Forge World
Yeah.
or not? Or has he made him as well? We
I don't know. He had a photo of that guy in too, but I didn't include it because I just wanted to talk about the Bale Taurus.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe he's the original. Maybe that's how he gets him through the door.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not. That's not the impressive bit. Still, it is more impressive. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's pretty impressive getting something to Golden Demon that isn't printed by Games Workshop.
Well,
but
he must.
still,
I'm guessing like clearly he's just been like, I'm guessing, done quite well in the past, and obviously, asked for special permission because I can't see them just opening it up to anybody 3D printing their own stuff. Like,
Or
to
this
me-
is, you know how AOS is getting Chaos Dwarves? That's the rumor. Is this just like
Yeah.
technically one? We don't know. We didn't realize this guy actually works at
Ooh.
the sculpt. He's actually just,
that is gold.
This will be like just one of the
Yeah.
models that come out, and that's why
That
Games
is so
Workshop let
good.
it. And they went, "There you go, it was right there. We gave you the
Yeah,
leak. We
right
gave it to
there.
you 6 months earlier." Golden Demon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
perfect.
yeah.
It says, yeah, as long as you do the sculpting and it fits the lore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
That's that. Yeah.
Did not
Yeah,
know
never
that.
knew that.
Pretty cool.
That means Patty can get in with her like cool
Oh,
the
yes.
Tomb King dudes.
Yes, all her gear.
Yeah.
Love it. All the Amazons and everything. I've got 2 more questions, both of them actually serious, by the way. So Perfectly asks, why didn't the Beastman pre-order get announced this weekend? Just shit all ahead, not that serious. Does GW not love us? How will I feel the goat-shaped hole in my heart for another week? Is life a hollow and meaningless?
I love a shaped hole in my heart for another week. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I say is there's a bunch of 40k crap that came out, I guess. But oh well.
It's coming.
Hold
It's
on,
coming.
quickly. And then he's very. This came in at like an hour before we recorded.
Ooh.
Perfectly, man. So many questions. Last minute question. I am currently building the Beastman and still getting very stressed like a pre-order for them, and managed to snag the Underworld's warband for them. On the one hand, I
Oh.
really want to include them in my army as for variety, and because the sculpts are higher quality than the older plastics. On the other hand, my brain keeps saying, you only get one chance to paint these guys. Why not wait until you're a better painter? I have a horrible feeling they'll still be on the screen in 20 years' time. Is this like a really hard pack to get, the Underworld's warband? Is that like something you can't access anymore?
Beastman warband.
No idea.
Is that them? That looks normal. That would be what's it called? What's the actual game called? War.
Oh no,
Sorry,
Underworld.
It dropped out.
Underworlds.
Oh no,
Yeah.
the other one, the one up from that, the Kill Team equivalent.
The Warcry?
Warcry. Sorry, it just dropped out
Oh.
when you said it. That's why.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it.
Sorry.
I'm looking for it. They're not called Beastmen, are they? They're called Beasts of Chaos.
Oh,
is
yeah,
that
they all got
them?
like gang sort of. Well, not gang, but like.
Someone needs to send us a link because I'm trying to find them, but I don't know. I'm looking at a lot.
Yeah, no,
of
it's definitely not
old-looking
Beastman.
ones.
It's like, something. They've all got like weird sort of gang names, sort of things.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Okay, it is Underworlds. There we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's out of production.
Yeah.
It's not Warcry.
I'm just trying to find the pictures of them.
Underworlds is quite small. You only get like 5 models. Models sort of thing.
That link didn't really work.
It depends on what they are.
My advice is if you feel like you're adequately reasonable painter, just go for it. Maybe don't
just
spread it on too thick, but
Yeah.
So you can always touch them up later if you want. But I don't know. I wouldn't want them to sitting there in a box for years and years.
Yeah.
I want to get some paint on them. That's my advice.
Yep.
I've not really regretted painting stuff. Hard to find stuff.
This is them here, I think. Just found them. Sorry. Is this these? Because this was.
What sort of resin are they made of? Are they just made of plastic?
That's
Yeah,
plastic.
You could always go back and
Yeah.
strip them if you weren't really happy.
Yeah.
You
No, it's
know.
plastic. Yeah, full plastic
You
kit.
just want to be able to make use. Like,
They
you
are
wanna
very
play
similar,
with
aren't
them.
they, to the old ones? Just obviously slightly newer. So
Yeah.
they fit totally. Yeah. But what do you do with that? Are they just like your heroes? Like, there's only a few of them. So
Yeah.
push fit plastic.
Hmm.
Got the shaman and then this guy. Yeah. So you use these. So these guys can just hang out. Oh,
Yeah.
They do look pretty good.
Yeah, those are awesome.
I think you'd be all right doing them towards the start. Maybe not your very first model, but
Yeah.
yeah. It is fun to like mix characters in. So like sometimes you do like a unit, a character sort of thing. Just mix it up.
Perfectly. What's the scale creep on them? Because it doesn't look too different. Because I think does Underworld still use? They're probably on the 25. They'd probably be not too bad.
They are.
Yeah, no
there's-
real creep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, cool. That's a change.
That's
Sorry.
like towards Age of Sigma-ish, like
Yeah.
So
the thing with Beastmen is there's only so well you can paint them anyway. Like that's as much as they're easy and quick to paint and forgiving. There's also, I feel, a bit of a ceiling effect because of that too.
Yeah, that's
You can
true.
paint them reasonably well.
It is interesting though that they've brought back 2 of the AOS models, but then if this is discontinued, that they didn't bring this back. But again, maybe they did look at it going, well, it doesn't sort of fit. Like if it was just one character by itself, you might bring that back, but you would have had to bring the whole sprue. But then there's just like 4 Ungors, so maybe not worth it. I don't know. Interesting.
It's just mini, like it's got enough detail, like to come back as character sort of thing. It's just how would they fit it in, sort of thing. Like,
Well, the base is also on there. It's push fit, so the round base is also on there. That might be just a pain in the ass. Was there another question, or was that?
That's it.
Okay.
For the questions.
Awesome.
That was
okay.
That was over half an hour of Patreon questions.
Wow, we're already at it now. Jesus, if we're gonna get through all this, maybe what do we want to do? Because have you guys got hobby? I've got a bit of hobby, but we also
I've already done my hobby. Apparently,
that's Smidge hobby.
Okay, so that's your hobby. Okay, well, maybe
vagina. It's painting the vagina.
I'm just thinking you might have noticed the snow. Yeah.
Let's just do a quick shout out then to Castle Assault. Just quickly, should I just do that? Like, because we will go into in depth with another episode. But just for those who don't know, if you are listening from Australia, you probably pick this up on our Facebook Australia group and all that crap and Old World Rankings. The Castle Assault date was already done, but now the players pack and registration is up. And the cool thing, and I've just opened the wrong window, is it's not just Old World. So there is Old World. Obviously, I don't know if there's actual player caps yet, or is it just?
Oh, I didn't see the caps.
I'm going to bring
I was wondering that. I'm like,
bring the other thing up too. Yeah.
Got to put my name down.
Oh, yeah, do that. I've paid. Mine's in, so that's all cool. But yeah, the interesting thing about, I won't go into the scenarios this time, but I just want to bring up that Kendall is using the Aussie comp. And as of 2.0, although I think these are slightly out of date, the actual army comp rules here, because that's 1, not 2. But that's fine. So yeah, we're going to be running Australia comp for Castle Assault, which is going to be interesting. So that 1/3 characters and stuff, and the limit on flyers and stuff. So that's going to be really interesting to see what it does. To see, I'm actually looking forward to that. And I think that's a whole topic that we should do in a future episode in terms of how to break Aussie comp or what factions actually play best into it. Because obviously once you reduce that character limit, I don't. So Alex just asked Renegades Allowed. I was going to hit Kendall up actually and ask him about that too. I'm not sure. So I have to get an answer on that one. Given that this is into the next year, it might actually. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it goes. I might have to ask Kendall. We should find that out. I'm assuming he knows about it, but I'm not sure. Like that Renegades have been out. I'll have to text him. But yeah, the other news, I guess, and I don't have that one up, is it's not just Old World. It is also War Master, which was last year anyway, 9th Age, and drum roll, Mordheim.
And Mordheim.
So Alex Bucket from Rank Bonus Podcast is running Mordheim. So we have just Old World galore there, plus 9th Age is sort of Old World, if you know what I mean. At this tournament. And now we have the biggest issue, which we won't be able to answer on this pod episode, is what the hell is Josh going to play?
That's a big question.
Sorry, it's raining here. I can't hear it. You guys hear that rain?
No, are you serious? I thought you were joking. No, I cannot hear it.
No, it is pouring down here.
Oh, God, I'm about to get it then, am I? Okay, let me look at the radar.
I'm hearing Mordheim and Josh laughing. I can't,
Can he? Well, Alex said, can he fit 100 Old World? Well, I think the biggest Castle Assault probably was pushing that. It's pouring now, but it's not going my way. Probably closer to that 80 to 90, I think they've had in there. Hey, people up on the stage, and who knows? So I reckon, the more we get in, the better. the club needs it, that's for sure. So would be good. Yeah.
That is says something with at least 6 ab nipples per model.
I'll announce this here, but it's more of a question / give us feedback. And I did hit Alex Bucket up, and he's open to this. Do you guys want to see Mordheim Fanatics bi-weekly podcasty episode as Josh tries to tell me and Alex tries to tell Gommo and Andrew how to play and learn Mordheim and paint up some Mordheim bands. So I don't know. We're now that it's actually at Castle's, because I mean I'll play Old World, but if Mordheim's there, you can easily get a game in, even if it's after all that and stuff, and on a Friday night,
you
and
can
all that
just
stuff. So
you can just skip round 4 and come over. And
well, that too.
Get some games in.
Yeah. If we skip evenly too, we'll not be screwing anyone else around either. So there you go. Yeah. So anyway, it's interesting. Mordheim, Old World, Aussie comp at Old World. Yeah. Castle Salt is shaping up as a good event. It's in August. Get your tickets if you're in Australia. If you're not, fly over and get your tickets anyway, and come play Castle Salt and really drink, and then maybe roll some dice. So and participate in the boat race, which is on the picture there. So okay. Well, we wrap it up soon, but I did want to show a few pictures of hobby because I did so much, but then.
Sorry, I'm monopolized all the.
Oh, that's okay.
It's
getting late. I'll be quick. Do you have any, Andrew, or? Can you hear, or are you dead still?
I'm trying my dandiest, but yes, I can kind of hear.
Okay. Have you got hobby, or you just want me to show stuff?
Oh no, I've just been putting together a bunch of undead knights, basically. So my blood knights.
So what's that for? That's just for your vamps in
just
general.
My vamps. They've been sitting around, and I just wanted to update from the old sculpt to the new sculpt. Sometimes you're kind of like, I need to get a new airbrush for before I want to start the stuff for Winter March. Before I get the new airbrush, basically, I'm like, I just want to get other stuff built, and that's what I've been doing. So I'm just building models currently.
Fair enough. It's all good.
You've inspired me, Gommo, with the airbrush, so let's start getting airbrushing again.
You guys are I bought another one. I thought it was gonna come today, and it's coming tomorrow. And that's only because I bought the wrong one the other week. Remember, I bought that really good, it's a cheaper Gallia, whatever it's called, which is sort of cheap, but it's actually really good quality. But I bought it in a 0.2 because I didn't know what I was doing, and it's just too small. I don't need it that small. And I was looking at buying just the needle and the nozzle, and you can get it, but it's almost the same price as buying the whole new airbrush. So I just bought another one because they're like $100. I was like, and they're actually really good. I don't mind them for the price. So I'm going to end up with extra airbrushes. That's like 3 I'll have. I've only just started airbrushing. So it's like, what the hell? Anyway. I'll bring mine up then. Not that Andrew can hear. I have my nomadic white is done.
Yes.
I have my sidebar. Yes, I got that. The first batch of that. Obviously, I'll keep. Like I said, my orcs are the army that you just keep working on. Yeah. I'm thinking. I did say that I might bring
Josh
demons
in the back.
to winter. Josh is there. Look at him. But the other alternative is troll horde, just to try and get my troll side of the orc army done. So that's another option. So I might play around with some lists there as well, and just see, because only 3 games. I figure, you might luck through and not get totally fireballed off. I don't know. It's starting to rain. Oh no, it's not. That's plumbing. Yeah, so there's just some close-ups. They came out good. I reckon that Wyvern came out pretty good, didn't he?
Yeah.
I thought so. He's the oil wash dude. Yeah.
It's good.
Those fucking shields took forever as well. I mean, these orc balls, they just took forever. They did take a while, to be honest.
There was like 30 of them.
Yeah. Just because you just go through and you put more stuff on the bases and then. But anyway, there's 30 of them, 2 chariots, 2 wyverns, giant. That's pretty much it. And then that wasn't all my hobby, because this is what inspired the episode. I have based, primed, and the entire Beastman army is primed,
right. You've built
done.
and primed it. Oh, wow.
And I've actually 3D printed, and I thought I had some pictures here, but I haven't, of like a bunch of skulls with like pickets with skulls and stuff that I'm going to like put all over the bases and stuff. So they're going to have like, they're going to look like they've just been butchering a shit ton of people, and then just do a fairly simple base scheme around that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I do have that crappy. Well, I shouldn't say crappy. It's the AOS Shaman that came in the box, but he's not that impressive. So I might print a better one for the dude who's riding the chariot. But we'll see how we go. They're the Pumbas. They look a bit like that. And then obviously, I got the 6 Dragon Ogres, a bunch of Ungals. The only thing I haven't built is the Bestigal, because I don't really need them at the moment. So Dragon Ogres, Gore. I do need more Gore, but I figure I can just make some. If I don't want to buy a box, and depending on what I end up finalizing for a list, I'll just make some Bestigals, put them in the back. And that was it. Oh, that's another test print. But anyway, so that's there. And they're all done, beastie brown, ready for the first nice airbrush highlights. And then, so here we go. Come up with a color scheme. So perfect. The don't be a dick rule for Castle Salt, was that written because of Josh's vagina scene?
Maybe. No, nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. God.
Anyway, that's my hobby. Although I did print the Highlands finally, their final round of their fillers came out, and I printed the Knights Panther dude just to see what he looked like. That guy that's sort of like, you can tell he's a direct clone of not direct clone, but inspired by the actual Games Workshop figure. So I just printed him out just to see what he looked like. But that was my hobby. I smashed through it last week, so that was good. Yeah, I actually am printing some harpies too, but I printed a set and they're just too small, so I've got to redo them bigger. So,
I can't believe you've got a whole Beastman army just like printed, built, and assembled. The Games Workshop bits are assembled, and then the other stuff's printed. The chariots, the Doomball. I mean, I can't wait to get that Doomball, man. He looks fucking. And I was saying to the guys, I printed him at full scale, and he's way bigger than the Gauls, and I'm like, that's good. He's supposed to be. I agree.
He's huge.
He really stands out.
Yeah.
Hard to miss.
He's probably a little bit too big, but I'm like, you know what? He's a Doomball. He's allowed to be. Yeah. They're a bit annoying around the chest area, because where the sprue goes, where the injection mold, when it goes into like just above their pecs, and it fucking, like, when you pull it off, it like you have to like trim it and stuff like that. But it wasn't too bad in the end. I'll tell you, the Tomb Kings are way worse. But anyway, so can't wait to start getting into them now that the orcs are out of the way. So. And Andrew, we could probably get a game at some point with these, because I don't, as long as you don't mind playing them in this state, as I go. So, and he can't hear anything.
I don't think he can hear anything.
Yeah. He's just wandering around.
Sure
I think we're at the end of this pod. We're at 2 hours. Are we going to? Is there anything else, guys, to chat about? Andrew probably can't even hear us.
I'm impressed by his sound cancelling, because I can't hear any.
I can't hear him now either, and I can't
hear rain coming through at all.
Yeah.
And he can't hear us, clearly.
I don't think he can hear us anymore. I'm just looking at the radar where he lives. Yeah, he's like under red.
Through. He just messages saying he can't hear anything. So, yeah. All right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. Okay, well, hopefully that was an okay episode for more of the hobby side of things, so to speak. If you enjoyed our live streams, please be here next Monday. We're always going to, whatever day it is for you, it's probably Sunday Monday, depending on where you're watching this. The big thanks to all our patrons as usual, and you can join them over on patreon.com/oldworldfanatics. Like, subscribe, hit the like button, and leave us comments. That's what we really like. Send us your hobby picks. Tell us what we missed out on with your tips to actually get your army done. How did you get your army done? How long does it take to get your army done? All that sort of stuff. Really interested in that. Sign up to Castle Assault if you're in Australia. I think in terms of just one more shout out for ShyCon. I think there's 5 spots left. So if you're around Sydney, 5 more spots for next weekend, or like not this one coming, but the next week. So, and Gommo and Andrew, well, myself and Andrew will be there. So, yeah, I think that's it for episode 89 of Old World Fanatics. Up until keep rolling dice, guys, and I guess we'll see you all next week. Thanks a lot, guys.